few years ago, I was flipping through the channels and ran across this little film about a plumber battling zombie-like creatures on a college campus. It was a fun watch, and I later found out it was Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer. It starred Robert Englund and Trevor Matthews. Well, color me surprised to find out that Monster Slayer Trevor has moved from actor to director. On February 13th, you can catch his directorial debut with Girl House, which is on VOD and DVD. Girl House is about a young college student that is recruited and becomes part of a premier porn site where all of its cam girls live in one big house. Kind of think of a sexy Big Brother. Unfortunately, the house comes under attack when a masked madman named Loverboy finds out where it is. Welcome, Trevor. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Scott. Thank you.
Well, that's good. I just finished up with Girl House, and I really, really did like it.
Oh, awesome, man. I appreciate that.
Girl House doesn't really cover a whole lot of new ground when it comes to horror. I mean, it's a standard slasher. You have half-naked girls. Even infusing the porn into the plot, we've seen that all before. What it does do is handle the technology aspect wonderfully, which can be so laughable in horror sometimes. When you set out to make Girl House, you're welcome. When you set out to make Girl House, how big of a concern was technological use in conjunction with the story?
Oh, it was huge. You know, I mean, when I first read the script, it was written by a guy named Nick Gordon, and I loved the script because technology was a character in the script. Even the house itself was kind of a character in the script. The camera angles from all sides and corners of the house. The girls inside the house constantly using their iPhones or their laptops to communicate with customers. It really made it creepy. It's like they were always being watched at all times. And a lot of times throughout the movie, we even go right into the cameras and then we pull out on the opposite side to reveal some of the customers that are actually watching these girls. And I think that is relatable for anybody, you know. I mean, with just technology today and the amount of cameras everywhere, I think there's always a concern of, am I being watched? Am I being recorded? And who is watching me? And why do they want this information? And so on. So we tried to make a script about the worst possible person with the worst kind of secrets and skeletons in his closet, watching these girls and obsessing over these girls, and ultimately being driven to be violent towards these girls.
Very good. One of my favorite shots of the film was the main character, Kylie, looks up into a camera, and you see the camera, and it fades into Loverboy's face, and it's the same blank stare that a camera would give. That was just a phenomenal shot, in my opinion.
Thank you.
I'm assuming at some point during the thought process to this was to turn it into a found footage film. I'm very glad you didn't go that route. It allowed some very scenes and flashbacks in the story that we just can't be done in a found footage realistically. What was your thought process going into this film? Did you really try to fight against this being a found footage film?
Yeah, I grew up making kind of traditional films. I started making short films in early college, late high school type time frame, and it was always kind of shot list and put together the schedule and the days and get the crews together, and it's really just kind of traditional filmmaking. We always tried to shoot on film if we could, and framing was important, and just every element of the kind of collaboration of film. So, my head never really even goes towards a found footage feel. We knew we wanted it to have a lot of movement as far as all the technology and camera angles, security camera, iPhone, laptop camera angles, like just to look a little different and to feel contemporary as a movie. But, it was never even in our thought process not to try and make a traditional scary movie, because that's the stuff I grew up on and I love, and that's the art form that we're trying to emulate.
Right, and I did appreciate that it didn't dwell onto a found footage, especially when you're looking at the security cameras. It seemed to really want to go back to a traditional movie shot, as you put it, which I really did appreciate. Yeah. It was very well done. For your debut,
It's true. I mean, it's true indie filmmaking. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. It's a collaboration. It's everyone on set. It's, you know, we had an idea, a shot list, and what we wanted to do, but it's definitely, you know, it's definitely true independent filmmaking.
Very good. Loverboy is a mass slasher, slasher figure resembling Leatherface. Who's your favorite slasher?
Well, I mean, this was very influenced by Halloween. You know, even the structure of the screenplay and development, we definitely kind of mimicked the slow burn approach to Halloween, and you know, Mike Myers certainly was a huge influence. But my favorite slasher, there's so many good ones to choose from. I would say I'd have to say Freddy Krueger.
There you go.
Just because I mean, I know Robert really well, and he was he was just an awesome get for us when we first made Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer, and you know, that was a huge influence on us, and he's just so cool. So yeah, definitely.
Well, very good. And there are points in this movie where it almost feels, since you said you like Michael Myers so much, it almost feels like Halloween Resurrection. But where that movie really dropped the ball, I feel like Girl House really picked it up and just kind of ran with it there.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
What are you up to now? I mean, are you just enjoying your moment currently, or are you already working on something new?
Oh no, I never sit back to just enjoy the moment. I mean, I enjoy the work. I mean, this is a full-time job for me, so I'm always thinking about what's next and what I can get going, what I can get working on, and you know, we have a big development slate right now. I think as a producer, you have to have multiple irons in the fire, because you never know which one's going to take off and get some traction. So, you know, we've, for the last year or so, post Girl House, we've been trying to, you know, get those irons hot, and we've been developing lots of scripts. We have a really interesting thriller that I'm really excited about that treads in the genre of horror, but it would be a little more in kind of the psychological thriller genre. And I'm really excited about that one. And then there's a couple of action films and a few horror pitches that we've been developing. So we, you know, 4 or 5 projects that we're just trying to get to that place where the, you know, they get enough traction and enough demand that we, you know, it makes sense to go out and make them and finance them.
All right. Is Girl House an indictment against pornography, its watchers, or its participants?
No, I would say it's not an indictment against them at all, but it is kind of a cautionary tale against treading into that world. And it wouldn't appear to be when you first watch the film, but I mean, once you get to the end, it certainly is a cautionary tale about people being too open with their identity.